All right, guys. So a lot of us are building sites and software on different platforms, your Lovables, your Bolt.news, your Replets, and oftentimes you may need to transfer your project that you're working on at the time to another environment, namely Cursor or now Anti-Gravity with the recent release by Google, because they are more robust and heavy duty, if you will. In many cases, you can complete your app or your site from end to end using a Lovable and those more user friendly vibe code platforms. But in this video, I want to show what specifically you need to do in order to set up your app within Cursor when you start it from another app builder, particularly one of the more user friendly ones like Lovable, for example. So I'm in here in my Lovable. I've been working on this web app called 75 Hard Tracker. On this challenge right now where I'm doing 75 days straight of working out, drinking more water, doing the things. And I built this out within Lovable. It's a progressive web app that you can download to your home screen on your phone, but it's actually a web app. So it operates like a mobile app, but it's actually a web app. Now, I haven't made a GitHub account for it. It's not saved outside of Lovable. But what I'm going to show is how straightforward it is to take what you've built on a Lovable or somewhere on the outside and then open it up within a cursor. So I'm going to start with syncing the project to GitHub. So to sync the project, you have to connect to GitHub. So you click on the GitHub icon, connect project, and I'm going to connect it to my GitHub organization. And so once you connect it, this project will now be linked for good with your GitHub account and the account that you choose to link it with. And then we're going to click on transfer anyway. Now, if you're unfamiliar with GitHub, and I've talked about it quite a lot in previous videos that I've done, GitHub is, I look at it like Google Drive for your code. So when you're saving a software project, an app, website, whatever it may be, you can create what is called a repository within GitHub that will save that project there. So here's my list of repositories. I have over 60 of them that I've accumulated now, some more serious projects, some less serious projects. And there's also a social component to GitHub in that you can save other people, you can star other people's repositories, you can fork, it's called fork other people's repositories, which is basically cloning another person's project if they've given public access to it. And GitHub also can facilitate version control for your applications. So when you're making updates to your app, you can push the changes, push the updates to GitHub to save it continually. So if you ever need to backtrack or something goes wrong, you know that you have a snapshot of your whole application that was saved to this platform. Now, GitHub is built around the tool of Git. Git is a version control tool that actually lives on your computer, and GitHub is the cloud environment for being able to also handle version control for your applications. So with all of that said, so we now have this 75 hard tracker connected to GitHub. So if I click on view on GitHub, it'll take me to that repository, which is listed right here. And now I have this record, this almost like, if you think of it like a document on a Google Drive of the project. Now, if I want to open it in another environment, in this case, we're going to be using Cursor. You're going to open up Cursor and then you're going to click on clone repo, and then you're going to paste in the URL of this GitHub repository that you just connected from Lovable. Paste that in and then click on enter. And then you're going to select your folder as the to store the project. You're going to open it up. So now you'll see that once it loads, you have access to the project within your Cursor platform now. And so this is how you can go about actually connecting your Lovable, your project that was living or that is living on Lovable with your Cursor. So when you make updates and you're continuing to build further with Cursor and you push those updates to GitHub, save those updates to GitHub, it'll now also reflect within Lovable. So you can actually make changes in both places. And so if I wanted to see how it looks when I open it up from this vantage point, I'm going to click on Control I, which opens up a new chat, and I'm going to say run this project on localhost. I'm going to choose a random local host. So it's looking up the configuration files to understand the setup, and then it's going to go ahead and open it up. I would love to try GPT 5.2, which just launched yesterday. OpenAI launched the new model, but I've already used up over $100 of cursor credits this month. So I'm just going to keep it on auto. So localhost 3040, I'm going to actually open it up in the browser. Here we go. All right. So looks like it errored out a little bit. The cursor now has this feature where you can open up projects within its browser. So we have this right here, and we can decide, and we could sign in on it. All right, so this is what we got. This is the app 75 hard, and it's connected to our Lovable. So there you go. So if I'm signed in on Lovable, I can make updates here. I can make updates in cursor, and I just have to make sure to push the updates whenever I'm ready to save to GitHub so that it syncs with the other environment that I'm working on. And this goes for any environment. So whether I'm building on Lovable, whether I'm building on cursor, whether I'm building on Bolt, or anyhow, having that connection to GitHub makes it much smoother and much more of an efficient and effective process of development. So that's what I wanted to go over today. Hope this was helpful for those who are kind of navigating different builders, especially if you're on a more non-technical side. And with that, I will see you guys next time.